Thank you, John. Hi, Jesse. I hope you're well.
Hey, Neil.
I think a lot of people will be interested in Gabriel Biancheri. Sure, I not didn't pronounce that correctly. We know he's represented Wales at youth level here. I understand he has several other international options. Is this a come get to know us gathering?
Yeah, I've had good conversations with Gabe and his family. You're right; he has several options to think about as what country he wants to represent, and I always feel like for a lot of the dual nationals that I'm talking to, that the best way for them to really feel how great it is to be around this team is to be around the team, because the guys are great. The environment is really strong and open, and I know that once they come in and work with the guys and see the mentality of the overall group, that they're always going to enjoy it. So we're excited to have him. He's still young. He still has a plan to be with the under 21s from Wales as well. But I think it'll be really good for him to spend some time with us in Halifax and Toronto.
And the connection with Canada, his mother is from Canada.
Sorry about that. Yeah, correct. His mother is Canadian. His father is Italian. And then he's grown up in Wales. So yeah, that's his connection.
Thank you.
Yep.
Shetty.
Jesse, can you give us an update on Moyes Babito's availability and Alistair's availability? If not for the Canadian Shield, then what it might look like for Gold Cup?
Moyes is out of both. He had surgery yesterday, and given the fact that in Nice, they have early qualifiers. They have to go through 2 rounds of qualifiers for Champions League. So he and I had a long discussion, and he really wanted to be at Gold Cup. But given the fact that he really hasn't had a break since January of 2024, and that the recovery time for this is 4 to 6 weeks, and that he wants to, prepare himself for a good season in Nice, overall, we thought the best thing for him is to have a good amount of rest, then get himself ready for preseason in Nice, and then have a really strong campaign, get his team into Champions League, and then experience Champions League with Nice, and add that to his overall package of what he's becoming. So obviously he's a really important player for us, and we will miss him, but I think it's an opportunity for others to step up. Certainly for Derek Cornelius to be a really important piece of the back line, but Luc de Fougerolles, Jamie Knight-Labelle, I think they need some opportunities to play. Joel Waterman, and I talked to Kamal Miller, and the idea is that Kamal will be coming into Gold Cup. And then Alistair will also be joining us for Gold Cup at some point into the tournament stage.
Christian Jack.
Thanks, John. Jesse, great to see you. Just to follow up on Matt's question, if you can just follow up, provide more update on Jonathan Aorio as well, if you can, on just his health status and what happened with this selection. And if you don't mind, just going a little bit more detail on Luke and also Jamie. Obviously played once for you, but what have you seen since that and that makes you excited to give them another opportunity and play regular minutes now and learn maybe from Derek?
Yes. So the first part with Oso is he's back in training, and he was almost in the match last weekend. So I spoke with him today. The idea is he will also come to Gold Cup, but I wanted to look a little bit at Nathan Saliba and get him into the group. And so I just felt the overall balance with what we're going to get out of this stage of the Canadian Shield, and giving a few other players opportunity to establish himself over the long term of June with us is important. And then Oso coming into Gold Cup, we know he'll slide right in and understands exactly what we are, and also the flexibility he gives us to play different positions. And it also gives him a little bit more time to recover. And then, sorry, remind me of your other question, Christian.
It was just the opportunity. Now, Moyes has played every minute for you.
Luke
and obviously getting Luke and Jamie opportunities to play. And every single time someone steps up and played, we've seen growth. So how excited are you to see them develop and play regular minutes?
Yeah, I just think they need time, right? They need minutes on the pitch with us. And Luke, we really know has established himself last summer with the group. I thought he had a really good third place match against Uruguay. Unfortunately, he got hurt when we got together in October, but now he's recovered. He's played a lot of good matches with the Fulham Academy. He's trying to assess and address where can he play next year so he can get more minutes at a higher level. And then Jamie's had a good year at Alexander Crew, and it's not an easy league to play in. He plays a lot of long ball situations and a lot of physical strikers and moments that aren't so easy to deal with. But I think he's had a really good season for a young player in that league, and we know that he needs a chance to try to establish himself and get more minutes with the national team. So we're excited for both those guys.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yep.
Jesse, how we doing?
Good, man.
Just back on Gabe Bian, what do you like about him as a player, and how do you think he fits with your other forwards right now?
Yeah, he's a dynamic player. He's very good around the goal. He's technically gifted. You could see he's an intelligent player. You know, he's a version of Jonathan David. He's not exactly the same player, but he's a striker that can play up on the back line, but also is good at coming underneath and connecting plays and being part of the build-up phase. So, you know, I kind of talked to him about how I think he would fit into us, how I think he would benefit by the experience of being with us. I spoke with his father and his mother at length, and we talked about the overall opportunity of what it would mean to play for the Canadian national team. And you know, in all these situations, especially with a player that's still young like Gabe, you know, I think it's really important that the family feels the connection to Canada, and all the players that we've talked to about that have dual national opportunities. I've always wanted to make sure that on the first line that their relationship with Canada and what it means to be Canadian and what it means to represent the Canadian national team, that it's in their heart, right? That it's something that is true to who they are. So I think this will be good for Gabe to see overall what the experience is like, and then to see how he fits in. Because even him and his father were like, where do you see Gabe overall in your group? And I said, look, it's a striker position is competitive with us, but he's still young. And I think he could have the opportunity to establish himself as a flexible player in the way we play, a little bit like how Jonathan David plays.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep.
John Molinaro.
Thanks, John. Hi, Jesse. Thanks for doing this.
What's up?
Wanted to ask you about Richie Larin. What was the rationale about calling him up, just given his injury woes this year? And is the expectation that he'll be a part of the Gold Cup squad?
You know, I had a long discussion with Jason Hernandez today about Richie. You know, we're still evaluating where he is in his recovery. He's back in training with Toronto, which is a good thing. Everyone has said to me that he's looking great and ahead of schedule. But we are also aware of the sensitivities of an injury like this, and we want to make sure that we monitor it carefully and then evaluate where he's at. So, you know, he still has a good 10, 12 days here to stay with Toronto FC and then hopefully get some playing minutes. And if he comes with us, there'll still be, I think, a modified way of getting him back into full health and 90-minute fitness. So, you know, if, for example, if Toronto had a game on the weekend that we're having the Canadian Shield, then maybe we would have left him to get more minutes and continue his development in his return to play. But given that they don't, I think the best thing for him, if he continues on the trend that he's on, to come with us and then see where he sits now physically in those matches, and then what the lead into the Gold Cup could look like. So we're not sure yet. We're evaluating everything every day with him, but we're all hopeful that he continues on a positive trend.
Great. Thank you, Jesse.
Yep.
JF.
Hi, Jesse. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
You've picked up a few players from CF Montreal. I'm just curious, how much did the difficult start to the season here was a part of the discussions back and forth, and why did you choose to go with those guys anyway?
Yeah, look, we considered a few players. Petrasso's played minutes, Latour's played minutes, obviously Saint-Piet's played minutes, so we've been watching all of them. You know, I know it's not been the easiest start for Montreal, and there's been some tough matches, but I still think that those players have performed well overall. You know, Nathan Saliba, frankly, we think is a player with high potential, and we haven't gotten him in enough with us. So I'm really excited to invest the entirety of June with him and really give him a chance to push his level with the national team. So yeah, I mean, look, there's a combination of form with certain guys, and then still the trust I have in their overall development with the national team. And so that I think that those guys still score and do well when we evaluate how they fit with us.
So just to follow up, Joel and Nathan, Nathan, you seem to want him to stay with the Gold Cup. Is it the same for Joel too, for Joel Waterman?
Yeah, we'll have to evaluate all these things as we go. We have certain guys that are earmarked for the whole of June, and then certain guys that we're still evaluating where things are at. But I think Joel's done well enough for us to be considered a big candidate for the possibility of Gold Cup as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ben?
I just wanted to ask about Jaden Nelson and Jacob Schaffelberg, two guys with very different form in MLS this season. How do you see them coming into this squad, and potentially how would you involve Jaden Nelson, considering what he's done with Vancouver?
Yeah, that Jaden Nelson is another guy that we've wanted to get in for a while now, and just the timing of injuries and different things hasn't worked out. So I think that I'm really excited. And look, we start to look at the 10 position, and if you're talking about Schaff and Ali Ahmed and Tajon Buchanan and now the potential of Jaden, and then also Liam Miller when he gets back, starts to be a position that I think we have good depth at, and a lot of good players and a lot of good possibilities. And we still think about Junior Hoylett and how he fits in the group. So, that's a strong position for us. And the key will be how quickly can Jaden adapt to what we're doing and what our expectations are. And I think if he can adapt quickly and learn quickly, that he can be a major weapon for us.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yep.
AGR?
Awesome. Thanks, John. Jesse, good to see you. I guess just following up on Nathan, I mean, we know the potential he has on the ball, but what stood out is his defensive numbers are way up, which can be tough sometimes for a young guy on a team that's maybe struggling. Just kind of speak to the growth in his defensive game, because I know he said a few months ago that camp last year, being around the group, has really pushed him in that side of his game.
That's a good answer, Nathan. Yeah, we did. We tried to push him to understand the level of speed at which we play, the level of intensity, and he responded really well. And I thought he had a really good camp when we got together in Kansas City. And again, I think I've made some mistakes as not always including him enough, because I think he's a high potential player for us. And I think he fits a lot of the profiles that we like for a player in that position. So I'm excited to spend more time with him and really get him integrated into what we do. And I think he has potential to thrive in our system.
Awesome. Thanks, Jesse.
Yep.
Joe?
Cheers, John. Hey, Jesse. I think this is one I'd written down in the first half of the US game, but we obviously, for reasons, didn't get to chat to you after.
Why was that, Joe? Why was that?
I mean, that's hopefully the appeal is going to be successful. I don't know. But we saw a couple of things on set pieces in that game that I wasn't sure we'd seen as much of, which were interesting. One was Alistair Johnston as this kind of Rory Delap on long throws, and it was effective.
Yeah.
It worked quite well.
Yeah.
And obviously since then, the hiring of Nicolas Gagnon. So I just, maybe a double-pronged thing. What are you hoping Nicolas brings? And, long throws are kind of becoming a little bit more stylish again. Will we see a little bit more of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you statistically talk about throw-ins in the attacking third, your best chances to score in these situations are always off of long throw-ins. Now, it depends a little bit on the situation. If you have a lead and how do you want to manage the game in certain moments, but we believe we have a strong athletic team, and we're searching for ways to get better on all kinds of set piece situations. And we've been hunting a quality set piece coach, and I'm super excited about Nicolas Gagnon joining us. The fact that he has good experiences in being a set piece coach, that he's also jumped more than that he's also been a high level coach, assistant coach, and that he's Canadian, right? So we continue to try to build the national team and support around the national team with Canadians. So there's a lot of real positives about Nicolas being with us, and we're hopeful that he will bring principles and ideas and details to everything we do with set pieces, because this is one of our goals in the next year, is to really develop the way that we execute set pieces and being more dangerous, specifically on attacking situations.
Cool. Cheers.
Oliver?
Thanks.
Hi, Jesse. I just wondered if you had any clarity at this point on the availability of Stefan and Tajon for the entire summer, obviously with them being named to this roster, but having clubs or parent clubs in Tajon's case in the Club World Cup.
Yeah, so you could throw Jonathan David in the mix there too. Jonathan has a decision to make on what club he's going to, and then we'll learn, what the opportunities are for him to be part of the Gold Cup. I spoke with him today. He wants to be part of it, so we'll see what decision he makes. And I didn't push him on that decision. I know he'll make the right one for himself and his family. Tajon, we have to determine exactly what the plan will be with Inter, but there's some discourse and discussion about that. And then Steph's plan is to go to the Club World Cup, but we're discussing the possibility of keeping him on the roster. And in case they get knocked out and we're still alive, we may use one of our 26 spots to keep Steph in the group in case maybe we could use him in some stage in the knockout phase.
Simon?
Jesse, you're playing two very interesting opponents here in this Canadian Shield that certainly in Cote d'Ivoire and Ukraine that are sort of in the mix to potentially qualify for the World Cup themselves, particularly Cote d'Ivoire. They're in a battle with Gabon in their World Cup qualifying group. And then of course Ukraine are in a 4-team European group where all the European groups don't start until September. Is your friendly strategy one in which you want to be playing teams that you and your group, your coaching staff can identify as being on course to qualify or very, very close to qualifying, so that by the time you get to the World Cup, you have played a length and breadth of opponents that have effectively are part of the 48 teams in the tournament?
Yes. Simon, I think you said that perfectly. But in the end, that's what our strategy of a lot of our opponents here in 2025 is trying to get the profiles of potential opponents and level of play for a potential opponents for what it could look like in 2026. And we think that both of these teams are very good. They both present big challenges. They both are in those categories of potential opponents. So excited, really excited for both the challenge of both of these opponents. They do certain things structurally, but the makeup of their players is so different that it will be a similar type of idea around tactically what we want to look like for both matches, but addressing the strengths of their player pool will be different because of the qualities they have differently. So excited, really excited for these matches. And by the way, super excited to play in Canada. Like only my third, fourth, and fifth match in over a year now that I've been with Canada. So we're excited to be at home, excited to play in front of our fans, and excited to play at our best.
And just quickly, in regards to, you've brought in Jaden Nelson, but also Ali Ahmed and Sam Adekubi. You must be pretty pleased to have those guys back. And the fact that, of course, before you play your first game, they've got a very big game themselves with the Whitecaps on June 1st. Just speak to the three Whitecaps players you brought in and what they've probably seen over the last 2 months and how you've evaluated that, especially with the Concacaf Champions Cup run.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll be watching that game on the 1st. We'll all be cheering them on. Really excited about their team, the way they play. And I could go case by case, but Sam's back and healthy and scores a goal right away, and a great goal at that. Ali Ahmed is, I think, in the best form of his life, playing insanely well and incredibly confident and physical and strong and dynamic. He's been outstanding. And then Jaden, we know his potential. And Jesper and I spoke a bit about each of their players, and also Ralph Priso, and talked about the possibility of all these guys. So, I've been really impressed overall with Vancouver and those three guys, and excited to see them play in the final.
Thank you.
Michael?
Hey, Jesse, just kind of following on a little bit from that. What have the discussions been like with the MLS teams? We've talked before about MLS not shutting down for various things. So the Whitecaps are playing over this window. They'll have some games during the Gold Cup if Canada go deep. Is the understanding that you're going to take the players from the Whitecaps in particular for both of these tournaments, or is there an understanding that you might use them a bit more sparingly?
No, we're taking them for both. We think they're all three highly potential to play major roles in us moving forward, and certainly into the 2026 World Cup. We have 6 windows, right? We have 6 windows before the World Cup, and we are going to take advantage of every one. And I know it hurts club teams when they don't have their players available. But in general, I strongly believe that big experiences with the national team help players' confidence and form, and they bring that with them back to their club teams. So I know it's hard. I've been on the other side. I know it's always hard when you're in MLS to lose players for important matches, but these guys are going to benefit from being with us, and they're going to benefit from the types of matches that they get to play in over the summer.
Thanks, Jesse.
Gareth?
Jesse, how are you?
Good.
Your goalkeeping position. What are you looking for from the players that you called in? And is there any chance that we'll see any additional names added for the Gold Cup after? Thank you.
Yeah, we only named 2 because we wanted to get a little bit more balance, specifically in the fullback position, and make sure that we're covered there. So, you know, and we will add a 3rd for Gold Cup. And just so you know, we have 23 in this squad, but we'll have 26 in the Gold Cup squad. So, yeah, we will need to add another goalkeeper. Jonathan Sirois is we're evaluating with Montreal if he can come and train with us in Halifax and Toronto. So we're discussing that with them, and Gabe has been really great with those discussions. You know, so in general, we continue to evaluate the overall goalkeeper position, and we think the competition for the 3rd spot is very competitive. And then, you know, we've talked, I think, a lot about overall Max and Dane and how important they both are, and how important it is for them to challenge each other, but support each other. And they've done that amazingly. It's great to see Max back in good form, playing again in Portland. And I think it'll be another good camp and another good summer with those 2 pushing each other and getting opportunities to show, you know, how good they are. So excited about having those 2 back in, and that they're both in good form.
We'll do 2 more. Matthew Shinetti, go ahead.
Just very quickly, I want to talk about when it comes to depth. How important is it for you, especially with how significant this tournament could be for this group, to really see what kind of depth you have? Of course, you relied on a lot of guys for that run in Copa, but what could seeing different guys in different positions, different combinations of guys, building chemistry with different guys in different situations, how could that help you over the, you know, after this window, the 5 windows you'll have before the World Cup?
Yeah, look, I mean, when you just look at it from the starting point, not having from the beginning in this camp Alfonso, Moyes, and Alistair, that's a big loss for us. Those guys with Derek have been a major foundation of what we've established as a team. But I've said from the beginning that this is not just about creating the top talent end of the team, but developing a broader player pool. And so this is a young team that we're bringing together, but a team, high potential team. And the key for us will be, can we maintain level of performance and clarity of positions and tactics and roles? And can we now build a bigger base of players that we know we can trust for the biggest games? That's what this summer will be about. So excited about that, excited about giving players opportunities. And it's my job to make sure that they're clear on their roles and that they're ready to perform.
We'll give the last question to KJ.
Jesse, just a question about Fonzie, your communication with him, how that's going, and has there been any discussion in a way of including the captain in any of these camps in the summer, even though obviously he's not going to play, but as a leader, how are you going to kind of incorporate him and still keep him within the culture?
Yeah, we've had some good discussions. And, you know, I think we've cleared up a lot of things about, you know, how things went down. And I know Alfonso's initial disappointment, I think, was a dominating feature in a lot of the things that happened, you know, with Bayern, with him, with his agent, with everything, right? It was hard for him to deal and accept with the injury, but his mindset now is positive. He's working really hard. He just got rid of the crutches. And now he's on a really good trajectory to get back. We know what an insane athlete he is. I have left the door open with him to have any kind of impact and effect that he wants to have on the team this summer, everything from being around the team to sending messages to any kind of communication to keep himself engaged as the leader of this team. So we will miss him, but we know right now that the most important thing is that he can dedicate himself to getting himself back to 100%. And I have no doubt that he will get there and even beyond. And so, there's been some good discussions. and we're all really supportive of Fonzie and what he needs in this moment, and helping him commit to the role of being the captain of the Canadian national team.
Great, thank you.
Right on.